greats of street photography have all photographed dogs. Joel Meyerowitz, Lisette Modell, Mary Ellen Mark, who did this sort of like event at her house where she would ask people to dress up their dogs and do a little photo shoot with them for Christmas. I always think that people interact differently with dogs to the way they do with other people. They let their guard down, they relax, and it can often make for a really fun and very playful photograph. There's definitely a reason that dogs and street photography have gone hand in hand for so many years. I think you can't really talk about street photography and dogs without looking at the work of Elliot Erwitt. Elliot Erwitt photographed dogs for decades and published photo books that were entirely of dogs. He injected humor into these images and really highlighted the bizarre way that people interact with their pets. This photograph in particular from a dog show in Birmingham, which I think is Crufts, is one of my all-time favourite street photographs. And this one with a dog in the jumper in particular is just an absolute classic. I really love the way he started using lower angles and humor and incorporating the owner's feet into the photographs as well. There's also people like Shirley Baker who would document dog shows in particular. So Shirley photographed dog shows all around the UK and really honed in on that like strange phenomenon that is the UK dog show. The way people are all united by their love of dogs, the humor, the general fun vibe of it all. There's a really fantastic Hoxton mini press book of Shirley Baker's dog show photographs that I really recommend checking it out. In researching this video, I also discovered Lisette Modell's dog show photographs, and I really love Lisette's use of perspective and framing, but vertically. I hadn't really seen that before, where dogs have been like framed vertically in this way to really add another sort of sense of drama to the perspective, make them look oversized in the way they're in the way they're interacting with their owner. At Framelines, Shane and I have also always loved dog street photography, and we've talked a lot on the channel about Framelines community, how we want to build this community, how we want this channel to be more involved with street photography as a whole. And last month we launched our street assignments on our Patreon, and our first challenge was to go out and take a street photograph of a dog. And we had about 50 people go out and submit their dog street photographs, and we were just like so excited by the results. Like, we've just published this gallery on our website with everybody's work. Some of these are just absolutely fantastic. There's a really great range of like some humorous, some fun images, some more somber looking ones, a mixture of black and white and color. This photograph in particular by Stephen Walls I really love, just fantastic composition, really nice warm tones. I like that both the dogs have something in their mouth as well. This photograph as well by Becky Stacey, such a great composition, such a lovely use of colour, really nice humour in the dog's expression as well, beautifully framed, lovely colours. And then we have this photograph by William Robbins as well, so going back to what I was saying earlier about perspective, really emphasizing the size of the dog and creating this juxtaposition against the humans in the background. The humans, the people. This one as well by Paul Cadena. I like how black and white can be used to make the dogs like more poignant in the frame and like really hone in on the dog themselves. And just like, I love that it's just a bit of fun. The dog's in the coffee shop, sat there with a cup of coffee. This one as well by David McAnini is probably one of my favorites. It's sort of like a candid street portrait, I guess. I love the little dog poking around the guy's shoulder. Nicely framed off center as well. Really nicely done. So if you want to go check out more people's work, you should head to our gallery. I'll link to it in the description. And if you'd like to learn more about the Patreon and get involved with the next street assignment, also head to our Patreon, which I'll link down below. There are other benefits like a permanent discount on Framelines magazine, free access to the digital editions. We're also looking at organising some photo walks and meetups and events. And also we chat about gear, lenses and street photography. And it's been about a month now, but really liking how it's shaping up. Shane and I have said to each other that it's probably one of the most rewarding and fun things we've done street photography wise in recent months, really. I also wanted to highlight some of my personal favourite contemporary photographers who are taking photos of dogs on the street at the moment. In Framelines issue 1, we featured a series by New York photographer Giselle Dupre called Bitches at Brighton. It's a series of really playful, fun, punchy photographs of dogs in Coney Island on Brighton Beach. I really love Giselle's use of flash. This image in particular with the little French bulldog with this huge tennis ball in its mouth is just so funny. Again, a really fun use of perspective, really making the dog look much bigger than it actually is. And this also leads me on to Ben Burfitt, who's called Acts of Dog on Instagram. When I first saw Ben's work, I was just blown away, and there's some really amazing interviews with Ben on Sean Tucker's channel and Stephen Leslie's channel that you should check out. But I wanted to call out some of my favorites because I've never really seen anybody capture the way that dogs interact and play with each other like this. And this photograph in particular, where we've got two dogs playing and another dog framed in the background, I think is just like compositionally fantastic. It's so engaging. And there's this really interesting like human element to these photographs, even when there are no people in the frame. This one as well, which is like a sort of stack of Labradors. I love the emotion in their eyes. It's just a really beautiful photograph, and the way he uses the sky, the way he uses flash. Yeah, I'm just pretty obsessed with Ben's work, as you can tell, so definitely check out Acts of Dog on Instagram as well. I think probably one of the best known contemporary dog street photographers at the moment is Alan Sharla. Alan shoots dogs with a 24mm lens, often from a low angle, utilizing his signature high contrast black and white look. And he's created this really beautiful body of work, this fantastic series of dogs that you can tell are Alan Sharla's photographs. They have this emotion, they have this beautiful composition across every single one. I really do think the 24mm just adds that extra drama, that sense of perspective, really gives you that sort of like dog's eye view more than any other focal length, I think, and it's really fun. I always love seeing Alan's photographs of dogs, and I've seen him say on Instagram that the dog's owners are always so happy to have the photograph taken of their dogs, and you can see that in the work as well. There's a joy, there's a playfulness to them. And then, being the egomaniac that I am, I also want to talk about my own experience shooting dogs, because I've been taking street photographs of dogs for the best part of a decade. I think I've photographed maybe 20 dog shows over the years. Depending on when this video goes out, I'm going to be heading to Crufts in a couple of days, which I'm really excited about. Crufts is the biggest dog show in the UK. I always set myself this challenge to try and take like a really busy photograph of dogs with as many dogs in the frame as possible without it getting too busy. I really love just getting down to a low angle, using a wide lens, and just having fun. I think that dog shows often have such a fantastic atmosphere. Everyone is united by their love of dogs. Everyone's there to have fun. It's just really relaxed. It's a fun place to take photographs. If I was to choose maybe like an event or some kind of situation that I just had to take photographs in from now on, like I couldn't photograph anything else, it would definitely be dog shows. The only downside is just the amount of photographs I come home with is always obscene, and going through them can be a bit tedious, but I can't really complain. Just jumping in to thank our sponsor for today's video, Squarespace. I've personally been using Squarespace for years to host my professional photography portfolio. I also have space for my personal work, and this is my Animals series that features street photographs of dogs. This one from the Euros in 2020 is probably one of my favourites. I just love with Squarespace, you can easily customize the template and the way your site looks, and you can easily just rearrange old projects. There's also this fantastic functionality of being able to integrate your own print store, which I really love to use. If you'd like to check out Squarespace, go to squarespace.com/framelines for 10% off your first order. So this has been a really fun Framelines episode to make. I hope that comes across in the video. If you'd like to learn more about the street assignment and our next assignment, head to the Patreon to the link in our description. Big thank you to everybody who's watched along and made it this far, and to everybody who keeps supporting the channel. Please do like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching along. If you have any favourite dog photographs as well, let me know in the comments. See you next time.